As a reviewer, I always felt a little guilty. Here I am judging someone's work, and I often have to be critical of someone doing something that I personally can't do. That's not the case with Scary Movie 5, so I will unapologetically stand on a pedestal and look down on this piece of Scary Movie 5 parodies a collection of movies: Evil Dead, Inception, Black Swan, and Rise of the Planet of the Apes, but the actual main plot follows Mama. In retrospect, they probably would have been better off following the whole Cabin in the Woods Evil Dead blueprint, but whatever. After a painfully unfunny opening featuring Charlie Sheen and Lindsay Lohan, we find Simon Rex and Ashley Tisdale, who end up adopting Charlie Sheen's children. I'm not even going to address the continuity issues involving those characters because obviously the movie doesn't care. The kids are messed up and the characters slowly have to figure out what's going on, but until that happens, we end up reliving movies we've already seen, as they tell jokes most of the population has already thought of and posted on Twitter. And the characters, of course, are really dumb, so it's gonna take a while. Scary Movie 5, for the most part, at least fires about 20 jokes a minute. Occasionally they'll keep a gag going longer than it should, but most of it goes by quickly enough. And the jokes don't always even feel like jokes. Sometimes they just say a movie's title and that's the joke. Like, a character will just say Zero Dark 30 or Cabin in the Woods, and that's literally the joke. Or they'll just make a pop culture reference that just will immediately date the movie, because 20 years from now, if anyone's unfortunate enough to see this, they won't even know what they're referencing. There was a party scene that involved a bunch of vacuum cleaners coming alive, and I have no idea what that was a reference to. I really don't. I felt bad for everyone involved with this, including the Morgan Freeman impersonator that they have narrating the whole thing, but I hope the money's worth it. And I feel bad for the kids in this movie because they actually have to grow up knowing that they were in this. If I were to say anything nice, I'll admit that a couple of scenes did get a chuckle out of me, but there were only 3 of them, so I actually have time to tell you what they were. They make a joke about Black Swan cinematography where Ashley Tisdale's hair is wrapped in a bun, and it shows up behind shot of her walking like they did in Black Swan because that was a frequent shot in the movie. But in this movie they did it like 8 times in a row, and at first I was kind of just like, really? But I actually did chuckle eventually. And then 2 scenes later I thought of it again and I ended up making myself laugh about it even more. One of like the 50 Inception jokes they made during that segment actually did get a chuckle out of me. I can't really tell you which one though because I don't remember, and same could be said about the Evil Dead section. Maybe one of those got a chuckle out of me, I don't even remember which. Also, they actually parodied the sex scene in Black Swan, but even with 2 hot women, it's really not as fun as you would think. But regardless, that's about 3 chuckles in an 85-minute movie. The rest of the time I was just sitting there, taking the abuse and waiting for it to end. I literally ran out of the theater when this movie ended. I couldn't look the other people in the theater in the eye, nor did I want them to see me. Scary Movie 5, don't see it ever. 2013 has not been a great year for comedy so far at this point, where I feel like The Hangover 3, which I am looking forward to, is just going to have to get a pass by default. Like, all it has to do is make you laugh once every 10 minutes, and by default, it will be the best comedy of 2013 so far. Anyway, if you like this review and you want to see more, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it.